Welcome back, and today we are talking about another interesting game called Broforce. I happened upon this game on Steam, totally haphazardly. I was just kind of browsing. It was recommended to me on a discovery list, and I decided to check it out, and I'm really glad I did. Um, it's a platforming shooter, kind of like, Contra games and shit like that, older games in general that fall into that genre. And it takes that genre style and modernizes it, makes it interesting. So one of the things that separates it from a lot of games in that genre is that the world is completely destructible. You can completely destroy everything you see, and that's definitely entertaining. But it can also, like, you can kind of bonk yourself there a little bit. Kind of make it so you can, like, destroy so much stuff that you can't make a jump and therefore can't progress. I've done that a few times, but it's overall just a good time. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's called Broforce. Come on. So there is a ton of characters in Broforce that you can play as, and you don't get to pick who you're playing as. It's a random box. You start off with Rambro, and as you're progressing through levels, you'll find prisoners that are being held captive. You destroy their cages and pick them up, and that's your extra lives. And after so many, at increasing increments, you'll unlock a new character. Unfortunately, there won't be any character unlocks on screen from my footage because I've put a decent enough amount of time into this game and I've unlocked a lot of the characters. But they're all based on some kind of badass from like a movie or a video game or something. And they've all got bro versions of their names. And let's see, like I said, there's Rambro, there's Brobocop. Who else is there? There's a lot of them. They all have bro force-fed into their name somehow. There's even a few girl bros, which is pretty cool. It's just a lot of fun. It's not intended to take itself too seriously. You're fighting terrorists, and the character introductions are very similar to the Bruiser's introduction that you'll see in the footage, with like just the heavy metal playing and the goofy artwork and stuff. And the artwork is very good though. I like the art style. I like the graphic style. The controls are very tight. I recommend playing with the controller. I was playing with the keyboard for this run, so I was definitely playing a little bit sloppy. The game feels a lot better on the controller, in my opinion. But if you're going to play with the keyboard, Z is going to be how you shoot and interact with things on the menu, and the arrow keys are going to be your controls. So it's a little weird. The controller will control in a much more predictable manner. And there's a lot of levels, and tons of gameplay to get through. It'll take a surprisingly long time to finish it, and I feel like there's a decent amount of replayability just because of how goofy the game is. So the Broforce themselves, they're like the special force of America. The game's like, America. Like, when you fucking think of America, you think of buff dudes with machine guns, blowing shit up. That's what this is. Everyone's super ripped, everyone's blowing shit up, the announcer's voice is like, hell yeah! It's really fucking, really brutal, really heavy, but it's good. It's a good time. And that's really all that matters, isn't it? I'm going to give this game a pretty strong recommendation, mind, because I have fun with it every time I pick it up. It's just like, the first time I picked it up, I was just like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. Like, how could anybody not like this? How could anybody ever not like this? I play it through Steam. That's a pretty common trend here. And on Steam, it's overwhelmingly positive. Like, as far as the recent reviews, as of the time of recording, the game has recently gotten 663 reviews, and 97% of them were positive. And as of the time of recording, it's 97% positive overall for all 30,000 reviews that it has. which is incredible. It was released on October 15th, 2015, so it's 5 years old, and people are still getting it, still downloading it, and it's one of those games that is going to age well due to the way that it's put together, due to the graphics that it has. I feel like in 15 years, when we're, you know, plugging controllers into our buttholes and like tuning into like a dick-strapped fucking, you know, game system that projects it into our brains, and we don't even need TVs anymore, like, you'll still be able to play Broforce and it'll still be fun. And that's truly a good game all the way around. So what's the story? The story is that you're, you know, fighting terrorists. Down the line, developments happen once you get a little bit further. I'm not going to say too much to avoid spoiling things, but the game gets significantly harder at that point. So, if you want to figure out what it is that makes it so much harder, you're just going to have to play it. Or you can just watch the video. So, because you'll notice that at the end of every level, there is the last guy you kill, who is the devil, every time. He's always the devil. Little devil dude in a suit. So, like, that implies that eventually it's going to take a Doom route and go to hell. And you're going to end up duking it out with Satan because, like, you know, why not? Like, at this point, everything in the game is really a whole lot of, well, why not? Honestly. So all the heroes, they all behave very, very differently. That's another cool thing about it. Every bro that you can get plays differently. They all have unique weapons. They all have unique ways of gameplay. You've got like the Blade character fights with a sword. There's a Matrix character who does Matrix fist punches and stuff. You got the Boondock Saints character, which adds an interesting gameplay mechanic in the fact that there's two of them, and they kind of behave like ice climbers in Super Smash Bros. in how they move, and if one of them goes down, you play as the other one. He just kind of goes into hyper mode, and you can bring the other one back, like I think one time, but then I forgot where she's from, but there's the girl with the machine gun on her leg. I think she's really difficult to use, but like she shoots down, not forward. That's awesome. You know, it's unique. You got Machete, he throws knives. You got Conan the Brobarian, or Bronin the Barbarian. I don't remember which one they used. But he obviously fights with his sword. There's a button to flex. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know what it is on the keyboard, but there's a button to flex. Just gonna let that sit there, and that's good stuff. And then let's see, who else has interesting gameplays? There's the RoboCop has like a little semi-auto burst gun, and you can charge it up. There's a Terminator character with a Gatling gun. There's Rambo's character has your traditional Contra style assault rifle. Yeah, lots and lots of uniqueness in the way the characters play and behave. Lots of interesting, unique, and funny gameplay to enjoy. The game is very strong. It's a very, very, very strong game. I don't see any real downsides to it at all. Unless you don't like it when your games get hard, then you might not like that. But that's pretty arbitrary, and frankly, the game's gonna get hard, but it's not gonna get any less fun. But anyhow, I think that'll do it for this one. I had a lot of fun recording this. We definitely had fun with that. Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna try something new. If you want to see a certain game get talked about, go ahead and let me know down in the comments, and I'll look into it. Also, you can feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want to, just in general, or dislike. Don't subscribe. Maybe you want to slap that fucking bell. Maybe you don't. Anyhow, I will fucking see you later.